What's up everybody, man, back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing another Godzilla Kong news roundup. That's right, in this video we will be continuing our chronological journey through the development and release of Godzilla Kong the New Empire and the next MonsterVerse movie by talking about events that happened between September and October. And today, Legendary first of all makes a big move that could have pretty big implications for the future of the MonsterVerse, and Rodan has officially returned in some capacity to the MonsterVerse. It's about freaking time, so let's talk about it. Starting out, I want to show off some artwork like always, and this first piece comes to us from Agamol, and this is Shimo X Periga. I've never really known how to say that thing's name. X Barugan from the Gamera series. These are all the frozen kaiju. It's nice that Godzilla now has a frozen kaiju. Obviously Ultraman, I guess Ultra Q, and Gamera had one, but Godzilla's never really had a proper frozen kaiju until Shimo, so that's very awesome that Shimo gets to have that honor. Pretty sweet. And it's just cute artwork, so I wanted to show it off. I think it's very fun. Jared Modena, you guys know, I've shown off a lot of his art. I've used a lot of his art before. I think he's a fantastic artist, and I will continue to show off his amazing work. Did a MonsterVerse Titanosaurus design, and it's so freaking cool. I love the exaggerated proportions on this thing. Like, that crazy back fin is insane. That crazy tail fin is insane. That tail fin definitely justifies Titanosaurus's wind powers, the typhoon powers that he has. I'm always such a big fan of this artist's work, so I want to show it off. Haya came to bat with an incredible Haya Burning Godzilla Translucent Exquisite series figure, which was revealed. It looks fairly similar to the NECA Burning Godzilla, but it's just, I guess, like the devil's in the details. This thing just has a much more intricate paint job, even down to the fact that Godzilla's got those nice multi-layered crisp spines. Those look incredible. Godzilla just looks fantastic here. They've done a really good job with it. It's got a very translucent quality to it where light can glow through the figure due to the plastics that they've used and such. The whole thing just turned out super well. I don't really know what you could do with a Burning Godzilla. Obviously, I appreciate the alternate hands, but they gave Burning Godzilla Ghidorah's severed head so that if you get the Haya Ghidorah as well, you can attach that for the severed head. I don't think that's the biggest issue, that doesn't come with the Ghidorah, unlike with the Kong and the Beast glove with SH Monsters, so that's like a very integral part of the Kong figure, and to rob us of that accessory just for the sake of selling more figures, I find very disingenuous. Whereas this is like a tiny little bonus for your Ghidorah to add this severed head ability. I don't think you lose anything by not having the severed head ability for the normal Ghidorah, so I appreciate that they added that. I just thought that was really neat. Although Burning Godzilla is not the one who severs the head, but that's another story. This ran you $51, so about standard for Haya, which is pretty cool. Haya finally revealed their Kong with the Beast glove as well. Again, another $51 figure. This one also has the metal tooth, and you know, I don't know, I don't love the metal tooth or the Beast glove in New Empire, but I'm very glad that this figure exists. It definitely should. Again, I kind of feel a little gypped that it's an alternate figure rather than a Kong where you can put the Beast glove on and take it off with alternate arms. Same with the metal tooth. I just feel like that maybe should have all been included in one figure. This figure does not include the axe, even though he's seen holding it in some pictures, but I'm very happy it exists. It looks fantastic. Haya does incredible work, and again, $51. Very cool. Mondo revealed these beautiful Godzilla Kong figures. I think they're awesome. They are glitter infused limited color wave figures. They're very expensive. The Godzilla looks awesome. Very, very stylized art series here, and I love the blue on him overall. And then Kong's looking straight up like the Yeti out of those Rankin Bass cartoons. Insane looking Kong, and you know what they gave him? An alternate hand with the Beast glove and the axe. It's just one Kong figure. You don't gotta buy two, and that's how it should be. The SH Monster Arts Mechagodzilla 2021 Final Battle Edition was revealed. This is a darker Mechagodzilla than their original release. He's got a much darker metal color. I don't really know why. I guess just to make him more different than the original. I think rather than darkening the metal, they should just amped up the reds, but this darker silver does beef the reds. It does make them more noticeable. He also comes with tons of new accessories, such as his energized fist, which is very cool, and his proton scream, which is amazing, as well as some back boosters, which I think is fantastic. He also comes with some accessories that the regular Mechagodzilla probably should have, like alternate hand positions and also the drill on the end of Mechagodzilla's tail, but overall, pretty cool. This is a $160 figure. It is barely more expensive than the original Mechagodzilla SH Monster Arts, so I'm very happy happy about that. $160 for this thing, that's I think a pretty good price. There was a Godzilla Minecraft collaboration, including a Godzilla vs. Kong pack, which was part of it. I don't know much about this. I know we got some cool posters of it, you know, recreating Godzilla vs. Kong, and I know that you could control Godzilla and Kong and have them fight each other. I know that they were walking around Minecraft. I know that they were destroying little Minecraft cities and such. It actually looked pretty high quality. Shimo was added to it. There's some videos of the Shimo skin here. Shimo's roaring and looking pretty awesome. You know, they've done a pretty good job bringing these things to the Minecraft art style, and so I'm pretty happy with that. Monster122 shared that Shimo, so shout out. Over in Japan, a very strange Godzilla quad feature quadrilogy aired on TV. I don't really understand what one of these is doing here, as one of them is not like the others, but Godzilla x Mechagodzilla from 2002, Godzilla 2014, Godzilla King of the Monsters, and Godzilla vs. Kong aired in a back-to-back feature on Japanese TV. Very awesome. Always love to see the MonsterVerse getting love in Japan. Just very cool. The Justice League vs. Godzilla vs. Kong Volume 2 has been announced. Very awesome that that's getting a sequel. I've reviewed the first one on the channel. I had a lot of fun with it. I think it's super great, but what I'm really happy about here is that Rodan is making his way in. Remember how I was Team Kong for the longest time and I was all about Kong? Kong's gotten his due. I've had a lot of fun with him in the MonsterVerse, and it's been nice to watch him smack Godzilla around even if he does lose. But now it's time for Rodan to show back up. So now I'm on Team Rodan. I'll shill Rodan every chance I can get. The Justice League vs. Godzilla vs. Kong 2 is a sequel to the Justice League vs. Godzilla vs. Kong, with returning writer Brian Buccellato and artist Christian Dunce returning. Christian Deuce returning. It does include the Toho Big Four, King Ghidorah, Rodan, and Mothra, while the first series included Godzilla and Mechagodzilla. This is further proof that Legendary has the continued use of King Ghidorah, Rodan, and Mothra's license, and they can bring them back in the movies if they so choose and if they pay for it. Why is Ghidorah drawn in the way of the SH Monster Arts Ghidorah rather than the one from the movie? I don't know, but I'm very happy to see these Titans back. I love the Toho Big Four making a return. That is so exciting. I cannot wait to see what these guys do in this crossover. I hope they don't waste Rodan like they did with Camazotz. He deserves way better, and he should be kicking ass in this comic. Also, it was announced that the Suicide Squad will be appearing, and they will be transforming Killer Croc into a kaiju. It's crazy. The artwork looks really awesome, and that Skull Island will be making a return and will have a very prominent part of this story. I don't really know too much about what this plotline will entail, but I would be willing to bet that Lex Luthor was not done with the Titans, and he saw the potential in how they could basically defeat the Justice League, and so he's going to want to bring them back over into the DC universe so that he can gain some control and some power, and I'm going to think he's going to bite off more than he can chew with good old King Ghidorah. Additionally, at the same time, a Kong vs. Batman set was announced from McFarlane Toys. I think it looks incredible. So cool. The Kong doesn't look exactly like Kong from the MonsterVerse. I wish it looked a little more accurate, but I suppose it looks more like the one that they drew in the Justice League crossover. Like maybe that's what they're trying to replicate, is the art style of the comic book. Batman looks pretty cool. I like that there's a little Batman that can go in Kong's hand, even if he's not to scale. I do think it's silly that they include a normal sized Batman that's a pretty big figure, like 6-inch figure, and then a smaller Batman, but not small enough to scale with Kong. This thing does run you anywhere from $50 to $100, depending on where you find it, but on the whole, pretty cool. It's got a little poster, a swappable head for Kong, and then of course it's got the two Batman, so pretty neat. I've seen this thing at stores, and if I had more money, I would have absolutely picked it up by now. Dan Stevens, who played Trapper in Godzilla Kong the New Empire, is re-teaming with Adam Wingard for his upcoming action horror film Onslaught. I don't really have too much else to say about that, but a lot of people thought that that was proof that Dan Stevens would not return for the next Godzilla movie, and yet he's back. Legendary bought out the remaining ownership of Wanda Group over at their company. So if you don't know, Wanda Group has been partnered with Legendary since 2016. They actually used to have a very active role in development. We actually saw that a lot with Kong Skull Island and Godzilla King of the Monsters, featuring Chinese actors and also Chinese locations being very central to the story. It's also very important to note that Wanda Group has had a big part in allowing the MonsterVerse and Legendary Pictures into the Middle Kingdom, where they have shut down pretty much all other Hollywood pictures. Very few Hollywood films get released in China these days, and the MonsterVerse is among the very lucky group that still does. The MonsterVerse does incredibly well over in China and relies heavily on the Chinese box office to do big numbers. In fact, the Chinese box office for MonsterVerse films almost always matches, if not exceeds, the US release, and without that, a lot of the MonsterVerse films, if not all of them, would have been major flops. So that's kind of scary, but at the same time, I don't think there's too much to worry about here. First of all, Legendary having one less partner means there's going to be less people trying to dictate where things head, and it's going to be easier to consolidate and push the stories forward. Also, it's, I don't think, the biggest deal because Legendary isn't a distributor. Legendary does not distribute movies. Warner Bros. Is the distributor for the MonsterVerse, MonsterVerse, they fork over 25% of the budget, and then they distribute the film. Warner Bros. Distributes the MonsterVerse globally, especially in America. But there are two areas where there's an exception, Japan and China. Legendary East handles the Chinese distribution for the MonsterVerse, which was created under Wanda Group's supervision, but that doesn't mean that it's going away. In fact, Legendary seems very hopeful that Legendary East will be just enough to secure the Chinese release for these films as normal, and it'll be business as usual, we won't even notice. And then on the other hand, Toho handles the Japanese release back home for Godzilla. Very cool. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. We are so close to 100,000 subscribers. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. We're so close. If we've already hit that mark by the time this video comes out, also still subscribe. I appreciate it. As always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons over on Patreon. It is through the support of the patrons on Patreon that I'm able to continue to make videos like this for you. If you want to join the Patreon, you can use the link in the description below where you can get early access to content, access to the Discord community, and more. And if that's not your thing, please consider joining as a channel member. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you all next time for the next one. D-Man out.